Vande Gujarat.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Linguaskill Business English Training Program. I, Pinky Kumari, welcome you all in this wonderful episode of listening skills. Yes, I'm sure from the previous episodes you must have got so much of motivations. You must have become an exceptional listener. You must have improved on all your listening skills. And today's session is a power pack. You're going to have all the important ingredients which are to be there for a very good listening. I'm taking this level a little bit higher to make all the concepts quite interesting. So without delay, let us start. Yes, so we are here on Linguaskill. Right, this is an examination and I'm making you ready for the examination, and now we are focusing on the listening skills. So as you know, it's a computer-based multi-level test. Just a small recap from the previous episodes. So, dear candidates, why is listening so important for business English? This is the point which I would like that each one of you should ponder. Right? You should think. Listening can teach you a lot of different things, like you can learn accents, you can understand with correct pronunciation, tone, intonation, voice modulation, and so many things. So when you will listen, then you will understand all these things. For example, I'm just telling, I like you. Now, when I'm telling this sentence, I like you, if I'm telling it simply that I like you, that doesn't sound well. But when I'm stressing it, when you stress it out, when certain words in the sentences, then it brings out with a different meaning. For example, when I stress I like you. Nobody else likes you. I like you. When I say I'm stressing the word like. I like you. That means I doesn't hate you. I like you. When I'm stressing the word you. I like you. I don't like anybody, but I like you. So, in your business English, whenever you will be listening to so many English conversations, you will be thinking that how words are accented, right? The pitch, sometimes there's a high pitch, sometimes there's a low pitch. And we have to understand this, that how we have to pronounce this word to really work, right? So let us begin this journey again. Here, I want to tell that listening can improve your vocabulary. Listening can improve your vocabulary. Listening will help you in dealing with your customers and clients. Yes. If you want your deal to be successful, if you want the things to turn up, then what you have to do? You have to go for listening. Listening helps you to appreciate what the speaker is trying to say. So if you want to appreciate, how you will appreciate anything once you listen? How you can appreciate somebody's thought if you listen? So listening is the key. Listening is crucial for successful business deal. Yes, it is very much important that if you are going for any successful business deal, then listening is the key. Now, if I'm talking about Linguaskill Business Examination, then in the Linguaskill Business Examination, you will get to listen a long text. First thing which I discussed in the last episode, that you will get a picture, that is choose the picture and you have to select, and the other question is extended listening. So I have taken this clip from the website where this is like a sample text, and this is going to be this much long. You're going to listen to this kind of long conversation. I have taken the sample and I'm presenting in front of you. So the text is going to be that long, but you are not there. You will not be able to read the text. You will only be able to listen to the text, right? So you have to make yourself with patience that recording The second kind of question where there is extended recording, the recording is going to be long. The recording is going to be long, so make sure you have patience. You don't give up. So that's why I presented this sample piece here, that you can understand that how long this wordings, how long the conversation will continue. Here, if you are going with the listening, you may come across, as I told you, in different business scenario, people are just collocating different words, and explained you that how collocations are helping us to be, bring the positivity in you, because when you collocate a word, when two words are joining together and when they sound perfectly right, then that is known as collocation. For example, when I say fast food, we cannot say a quick food, we say fast food, because fast is collocating with the word food. So that's why it's fast food, not quick food. So collocation will give you overall idea then how you are going to collocate. When the words are being collocated in your listening, then you will understand this in a very nice way. So I've prepared a list of good number of collocation. Let's have a look at them. So here their first word is enter a password. So it's always there. You're already aware about it. The whenever we always say we have to enter a password. Stiff competition. So stiff means tough. So competition is very stiff. So we say stiff competition. Start a business. That means you're starting something when you're setting up a business. So we always say start a business. We say break the record. Yes. I'm trying hard. I'm going to break this record. Waste time. Time is something collocated. Don't waste time. Spend time. Waste time. So it's something which is already there. We are quite used to listening to it again and again. Miss the point. Take a chance. Take a risk. So how finally, they are collocated. That sometimes our listening is so profound that we get used to with all these collocations. Take time. So all these collocation exercises are going to they are going to take you into deeper level, to deeper understanding. And native speakers of English language, they're using so many collocations while speaking. That's why they sound so fast. They're mixing, they're assigning, putting on so many words together, and then they are speaking. And collocations play a very important role in this. Similarly, you can see these are the business collocations which I'm discussing with you right now. Take into consideration, take advantage, make up your mind, make sure, make a difference, make the most of it. So take into consideration means when you are requesting someone to please look into your matter. When you're requesting someone to agree with something. So that is take into consideration. When you are requesting someone humbly, can you please take my matter into consideration? Take advantage. When I say, you take advantage of this situation, you take advantage of this deal, you take advantage of this project, right? So that is your take advantage. Next is make up your mind. Make up your mind means when you agree to do something, then that is your make up your mind. Make sure you make up your mind before signing this contract. So when you are deciding something, when you are agreeing to something, then that is your make up your mind. Next is make sure. Make sure means when you are confirming the things with someone. So make sure that you two reach to office on time. So that is make sure. Make a difference. Make a difference means when you are bringing some change. I hope your contribution will make a difference in our company. So you are bringing a positive change in any organization, any place or any project, something like that. That is known as your make a difference. Make the most of it. Make the most of it means that you are using maximum, you are taking maximum advantage of something, then that is known as make the most of it. So it's a very important collocations, and these collocations will help you in your daily life, in all your real conversation. It will help you to understand all the important vocabularies and make sure you get proper vocabulary for this, and then only we can get proper collocations, right? So let's move ahead. Dear candidates, I am just here. I have prepared some more sample exercise with little bit higher difficulty level, so that you can understand the how questions are asked and how you can answer them in a very effective manner. So my motive is that I am getting you people used to with this listening exercises. Once you are used to, your confidence level will improve, and you will be daring enough to listen to more exercises on your own. So that's why this sample listening exercises are there. I will be reading it out. It's in a scripted form at this level, but in the latter time you will see the recordings. Audio only is going to be played, and then you have to listen. So you have to keep patience, right? Even you are ignorant of any word, then you should not give up, but you should listen. I'm reading it out. It's a draft, so you can listen, and you can also see you can read it out, and at the same time you can listen also. So see what is written here. Jim was thinking to start import and export business, and after the start of his business, he decided to import first. He thought to deal in mobile phones, but later on his friends suggested him to go for laptops. He was really confused between laptops and mobiles, and finally Jim made up his own decision and decided to import beauty products. So, this is a listen and select exercise which will be focusing first in today's session. So here, Jim was thinking to start import and export business. And after the start of his business, he decided to import first. He thought to deal in mobile phones, but later on, his friends suggested him to go for laptops. So he was really confused between laptops and mobiles. And finally, Jim made up his own decision and decided to import beauty products. So, here the question is, what did Jim decided to deal in? Right in the conversation, we were speaking about mobile phones, we were speaking about laptop, we were speaking about beauty products. So, can you tell me what was he talking about? What did Jim decided to finally deal in? So, again, it all depends on the conversation. We'll go back again and read it out. Jim was thinking to start import and export business, and after the start of his business, he decided to import first. He thought to deal in mobile phones, but later on his friend's suggestion, he suggested him to go for laptops. He was really confused between laptops and mobiles, and finally Jim made up his own decision and decided to import beauty products. So this is a form of listen and select. So what will be the final answer? The correct answer will be C, because the question is, what did Jim decided to deal in finally? So initially, the purpose of the test taker is to confuse you. He wants to confuse you. He wants to confuse you that okay, what he should deal with, and that's why all the three options are there on your screen. But you have to choose which one suits the best. Okay, we will go again with the next one. Again, a listen and select exercise is there for you, so that you can develop better understanding of the things. See, I am Andy. I'm going to start my own company which will deal in providing education services for the children for the age group. I discussed with my business partner Julie to decide one good name of the company, and she suggested me a good name. She told me that we would go for EducatVio. I liked it very much, but still I asked her to think and suggest me some names. We both sat together and met our third business partner, Louis. She suggested us Childrency, and finally we all got confused and we thought to give it a final name, which was Edutech Private Limited. I'm reading this again because here in Lesson and Select you get two chances for reading. So I'm reading, but you are listening, right? So, I am Andy and I'm going to start my own company which will deal in providing education services for the children of all age group. I discussed with my business partner Julie to decide one good name of the company and suggested me a good name, and she told me that we should go for Educapvio. I liked it very much, but still I asked her to think and suggest we some more names. We both sat together and met our third business partner, Louis. She suggested us Childrency, and finally we all got confused and we thought to give it a final name, which was Edutech Private Limited. So again, you are understanding overall idea of this text was to make you aware that how you are attentive in the terms of listening. For example, what name Julie gave to the company? Was it a Edutech Private Limited? Was it Educatvia? Was it Childrency? What was it, a children company? So you have to be very much attentive, because in the listening exercises you're getting so many things, you're getting so many good options, but what forms the correct option, that becomes very much important. So as a learner, as a keen learner, as an exceptional learner, we have to catch on with the content words, and then it becomes very much easier for us. So, dear candidates, I am sure you have got the right answer. The answer is Edutech Private Limited, because that was a final name decided by all the three business partners. So, let us move to some other exercises. This is the third exercises. I am Nick, the placement coordinator of Horizon Private Limited. We had a target to give jobs to at least 2,40,000 candidates, but analysis done stated the figure dropped to to 10 it's something like reduced rates candidates, and we're not taken to the lack of skills, and finally we got 1,32,000 candidates were sent for the skill development program, and they were all trained for the next placement event. My next target for the next year is to give job to 5,40,000 candidates. Let's hope for the best. So, dear students, this is again a part of Listen and Select, where the placement coordinator, Nick, he is a placement coordinator, and he thought that he is going to give jobs to so many candidates, and initially his target was to give job to 2,40,000, but it drops to 1,08,000, and because 1,32,000 candidates were not having the exact skills in them, and now he is setting up a target that he has to give jobs in the next year to at least 5,40,000 candidates. So let's hope for the best. This was a conversation, and again, how many candidates were sent for the training? So they are just twisting you in the conversation. So you can have them how they are twisting with the conversation. So you can have a number, which number to select, right? So it's like so many options are there. So you can also go back again. So the question is, how many candidates were sent for training? So you can see, you can read it out, you can listen to again, lack of skills, and so you can see 1,32,000 candidates were sent for a skill development program. So here the skill development program has been paraphrased and it has been stated like training. So this is how this kind of exercises are going to be solved by you. And I'm sure that if you keep on listening such kind of similar text, keep in working, keep on, you need to be consistent with your efforts, with your consistency, with your magic pill, that is motivation, then I'm sure that you're going to have everything which is required in this section. Listens and select is a wonderful exercise section where you are going to understand in the form of pictorial form, as I discussed in the module 1, that it can be in the form of picture, it can be in the form of graph, it can be in a pictorial representation, it can be in a table form, it can be a time frame, it can be a number. So many things are there. So it is you who has to make your mind that whatever comes to me, I have to be comfortable reading the graphs. The graph is very much important. They maybe two colleagues are presenting a sales figure, they are talking about that, so you have to be careful about it. So that is how the things go up. If things will be aligned in a proper manner, then we can make things happen in a very nice way. So let us begin with other exercises. Yes, again I have taken again one more sample. I want to make you people practice more and more, because I have understood, like I have made you all understood, that please listening is the key, and listening with proper consistency is only going to help you out. So here is another exercise, another sample exercise which I'm going to focus. See, so this is a kind of conversation which is going on between the project head and a colleague. So let's see what they are talking about. So just be keen, be a keen listener, focus on all the important words. They are very basic. They are going to make you tune, make you comfortable, make you used to with the listening portion. So make sure you get best out of it. Here I begin. Project head: what do you think about our plans for our product launch? Colleague: yes, you have really worked hard, and I wish if you extend the date so that we could get enough time for campaigning. Project head: I respectfully disagree with you, because I want to launch it before holidays, so we cannot extend this deadline. Colleague: I would suggest you discuss this further with the advertising team. I would get in touch with them tomorrow. Project head: I look forward to see you all in your product launch soon. So I'm going to read it again for you twice. What do you think about the plans of our project launch? Yes, you have really worked hard, and I wish if you can extend the date so that we could get enough time for campaigning. I respectfully disagree with you, because I want to launch it before holidays, so we cannot extend this deadline. I would suggest you discuss this further with your advertising team. I would get in touch with them tomorrow. I look forward to see you on product launch soon. So this was a very sample exercise which I have given it to you, and you have listened it twice, and you may be aware that how people are communicating in terms of business context, and how the language differs in normal situation and in the terms of business conversation. So we are seeing it every time we are talking about a certain product, we are understanding it, we are seeing that how formal communication, how the vocabulary, whatever we have discussed in our previous modules, and how they are aligned and how they are used in different scenarios. So this is how we have to make sure that everything comes in a proper manner. And the moment I ask you in proper manner, then it has to be in a proper manner, right? So let us see what is there. So was the project head ready to postpone the meeting? Yes, he was interested, wanted to do it after the advertising campaign. He wanted to do it before holidays, planning of product launch, right? So you are aware that what was the conversation all about. So according to the conversation, the project head, he didn't want it to extend the deadline, because the correct answer is going to be C, because he wanted it to do it before holidays. So these are the listening comprehensions kinds of questions, right? And in extended listening, you're going to get such kind of questions, right? So from a very basic level to advanced level, you have to be aware about all these things. So gradually you are going to understand that how the questions are asked, how the things are there, how the business English words, phrases, standardized expressions, antonyms, synonym, rules, all the things are aligned and how they go in a line-up manner. So here I want to tell you that as a speaker of English language, as a speaker, as a learner of English language, it's our duty that we have to do justice with this topic. And by this, what exactly we need to do is that we have to focus on all the standardized expressions, right, in the terms of business English, because experiencing the business environment and you just feeling it for the meaning of the business terminology in your mind. You're listening by keeping, okay, if I'm listening to an audio, then I have to learn, I have to master all the business expressions, all the wonderful things which are there in this business audio. And moreover, it becomes important for us that when you're listening, if there is any clue in your listening comprehension, then you make sure that what information I can get from a clue, and catching on the content word also plays a very important role in the listening. So let's move to our other segment. Yes, this is an again extended listening exercises about Iraqian came to US from China in the mid 90s to pursue the internet boom. But it took a while to get here. The first 8 times he applied for a visa, he was denied. Finally, on the ninth attempt, he was approved, but the process lasted 2 years. Second part. In 2012, after working for a Silicon Valley communication startup for years prior, Yuan founded the communication platform Zoom. In an interview with Thrive Global, Yuan says that Zoom started as a daydream solution to a long-distance relationship that required a 10-hour train ride to see each other. Now, Zoom is used by more than 750,000 companies to keep their teams connected through video and audio conferencing, collaborative workspaces, chats, and more. The real-time, face-to-face aspect of Zoom makes it easier for the companies to stay in touch. So, people can easily work from home or stay connected while working remotely or across several locations. Okay, so I'm going to read it again because you will be able to solve these questions. So I'm reading it again. It's telling that Iraqian came to US from China in the mid 90s to pursue the internet boom, but it took a while to get here. The first 8 times he applied for a visa, he was denied. Finally, on the ninth attempt, he was approved, but the process lasted 2 years. In 2012, after working for a Silicon Valley communications startup for years prior, Yuan founded the communication platform Zoom. In an interview with Thrive Global, Yuan says that Zoom started as a daydream or solution to a long-distance relationship that required a 10-hour train ride to see each other. Now, Zoom is used by more than 750,000 companies to keep their teams connected through video and audio conferencing, collaborative workshops, chat, and more. The real-time, face-to-face aspect of Zoom makes it easier for companies to stay in touch, so people can easily work from home or stay connected while working remotely or across several office locations. So, dear candidates, I hope you must have listened it twice and you have worked on your key points, you have understood all the key points, and you must have understood that how the words, what are the characters, and so many things are there. So, I personally feel that listening is a wonderful journey. The more you listen, your knowledge is going to enhance and you are going to give your best. But here, the problem with listening comes when students, they have played the video once. Now, second time also they are playing the video, but sometimes they miss some kind of information. So here you don't no need to get panic. I would advise you first you read the questions, whatever is in the extended section. Read the question because you have the full control on your play button. So read the questions first. Just think that what are the keywords, what kind of questions are being asked, and then you play the recording. Follow all the tips which I have suggested to you. Understand all the keywords, and then you will be able to understand that how these keywords are in the audio. Again, what you have to do after listening, again you solve the questions. If there is any difficulty, again you play on the button. So full control is there, but it's only for 2 times you can play the audio. So make sure you do this, and I'm sure if you're going to do this, you are going to get maximum score. So let's see the questions. What are the questions? So this is the question. Read it out. The first question is, from where did Eric Yuan come from? Right? So you have to say from where he came from. Did he came from US? He came from China, Africa and Japan. So you are seeing that he came to US from China. So the correct answer would be China, B. Next, you can see for how many times Eric Yuan's visa got disapproved. So we know that it got approved for 8th time, and on the 9th time his visa was selected. So you can see this is how the whole communication is there. On the numbers you need to be very much careful. On any event you need to be very much careful. So these small things, when you are considering in your listening, it is going to help you. Let's see this. On what attempt Iraq Yuan's visa got approved? So that was the question we discussed. Next, for which company did Eric Yuan work for? So it's for Silicon Valley Communication, and that was the correct answer. So any organization name, you have to be very much specific about it. You have to see what are the keywords, what are the contents which you have to focus on. So this is how listening becomes easier for you to understand, and you bring the very best in it, right? So Zoom is used by how many companies? So you have to focus on the number. It's a 7 lakh. The first option is the correct one. So when it comes to number, you have to be very much tricky. But sometimes it happens that they are talking about the numbers, but they are talking about so many numbers in different aspects. So at that time, you have to be very much sure. Okay, the candidate in the questions, there are so many numbers. In the audio, they are talking about a specific number or a specific event for which the number is associated. So you make sure your mind should be that much of sharp that I get to that level that I speak about the number and I get to know that how it is there. So specification of the numbers is very much important, and you make sure you are getting it with it. So that is a place where many of the students fail to communicate. When they are not focusing, they miss the information. Even if they are playing twice, they miss the information. So it's very best. You have 2 attempts to get all the clues. So you have to grab it very nicely. You have to listen to all the clues. So that makes listening very good, wonderful when you are having lots of strong source of listening. When the source is strong, then the implementation, that is the questions which you are answering, that can be also made strong. So that is one thing which you have to do it. So let's move ahead. Yes. Now again, there's one extended listening exercise for you. Again, I'm just trying that you should now indulge yourself in lots of practice, because practice is the only thing for which you are here, and the more you practice, the more you are getting used to with the accent, the vocabulary, the synonyms, the antonyms part. You're seeing that how they are used, how the questions are asked, and how you are getting used to with all these terms, technology. So all these things are really going to help you out in so many different scenarios, right? So here I begin. So I'm just reading it out to you. It is strange that according to his position in life, an extravagant man is admired or despised. A successful businessman does nothing to increase his popularity by being careful with his money. He is expected to display his success, to have a smart car and expensive life, and to be lavish with his hospitality. If he is not so, he is considered to be mean, and his reputation in business may even suffer in consequence. The paradox remains that if he had not been careful with his money in the first place, he would never have achieved his present wealth. Among the low income group, a different set of value exists. The young clerk who makes his wife a present, a new dress, when he hasn't paid his house rent, he is condemned as extravagant. Carefulness with the money to the point of meaningless is applauded as a virtue. Nothing in his life is considered more worthy than paying his bills. The ideal wife for such a man separates her housekeeping money into joyless little piles. So much for rent, for food, for the children's shoes. She is able to face the milkman with equanimity every month, satisfied with her economizing ways, and never knows the guilt of buying something she can't really afford. Right? So this was a strong extended listening source, and level is little bit increasing, so I'm going to read it out again so that you can understand it. Right? So this is the third part. As for myself, I fall into neither of these categories. If I have no money to spare, I can be extravagant. But when, as is usually the case, I'm hard up, then I'm the meanest man imaginable. Alright, so I'm going to read this again for you so that you can understand the words, the sentences, the business terms which are used there. So let's see how it is done. It is strange that according to his position in life, an extravagant man is admired or despised. Admired means something who is appreciated. Despised means something who is not acceptable, right? An extravagant man, a person who spends a lot of money, that person is known as extravagant. A successful man does nothing to increase his popularity by being careful with his money. So if it's telling that if a man is successful and he's doing nothing to increase his popularity by being careful, then he's expected to display his success. If a man is successful in his business, then it's written here that he should have a smart car, he should have an expensive life, and he should be very much lavish with hospitality. And if he is not doing that, then he is considered to be mean. And his reputation, that means his status in the business, may suffer in consequence. Consequence means in result of. And this is a paradox. Paradox means the opposite statement, right? So the paradox remains that if he had not been careful with his money, if he would not have preserved his money, if he would not have spent his money in the right direction, would he have been in this place? Would he have become a successful businessman? No. So this is a paradox there they are talking about. In the next paragraph, it is talking among the low income group, a different set of values exist. If people who belong to low income group, for example, if there is a young clerk and he's presenting his wife a new dress, and he has not paid his house rent, then he is condemned to be extravagant. Extravagant means a person who spends excess money. So carefulness with the money to the point meaningless is applauded as a virtue. So sometimes people think that okay, if a person is to a certain point, he is extravagant, then it is a virtue. Virtue stands for a good quality. And nothing in life is considered more worthy than paying his bills. And in the life of middle class, with the low income group person, it's telling that it's okay that he's worthy if he's paying bill and his wife is keeping the money, protecting the money, saving the money for rent, for food, and for children's shoes. And she's facing the milkman who's coming to deliver milk at her door with equanimity. Equanimity means with a kind of social respect, just managing everything. and she knows the guilt of buying. And in low income group, she's telling, so it is mentioned here that sometimes it happens they're having a guilt of buying something which they can't really afford. So you can see, as for myself, I fall neither of these categories. If I have money to spare, I can be extravagant. But when, as is the usual case, I'm hard up, I'm the meanest man imaginable. So here this extended listing was there with lots of vocabulary, and in the last paragraph it is telling that it's okay, if I have money I'm going to spend, I'm going to extravagant. But if I don't have money, I'm going to hard up, and maybe I would be considered a meanest man imaginable. Meanest means who's very close fisted, tight fitted person, who's not ready to spend money. So this is how conversation is going on, and this is how so many words, you can see this was a successful businessman. So this entire text was related to a business English conversation, a story of a businessman who is talking that how success, how, what is the importance when person is extravagant. When you once become successful, then you have to be very much careful with the resources. So in this way, everything was there, and how the life of a low income group is reflected. So let's solve the questions. Let's see how the answers and question answers are there. So, what is the speaker talking about? Yeah. So, again, you have heard so many answers. So many options were there in the question. So, first is extravagance in the life of the rich and the poor. Extravagance is always condemnable. Extravagance leads to poverty, wealth, and health. So obviously option number A is correct, because he's considering himself, and he's considering that low income group clerk. So extravagance in the life of a rich and a poor. Okay, let's move to the next question. According to a speaker, a successful businessman should be. Yes, so it's a lot of adjectives are there. So according to the speaker, a successful businessman should be restrained, lavish, thrift, lazy. What kind of person he should be? So according to the conversation, he should be lavish. Lavish means he should live a lavish, very luxurious kind of lifestyle he should maintain. So according to a speaker, a successful businessman should be lavish. Next is among the among the low income group people, a different set of value extracts. The young clerk who makes his wife a present of a new dress when when he hasn't paid his house rent, he is considered. Yes. So obviously the very first option is correct here, because among the low income group there's a different set of values, and C, the answer is extravagant. That means correct. Very much one who spends a lot of money, so that is your extravagant. Question number 4, the phrase lavish with his hospitality. So in the third sentence of the first paragraph signifies what? Lavish with the hospitality, considerateness in spending on guests and strangers, indifference in treating his friends and relatives, miserliness in dealing with friends, extravagance in entertaining guests. So obviously that is extravagance. Yeah, it means hospitality means when somebody is coming and to your house, a guest or one of your friend or relative, and then how much you are entertaining them. So that is to your extravagancy. So right. So this is it's all about. Now the speaker feels that low paid people should feel guilty if they are overspent, borrow money to meet their essential needs, not keep their creditors waiting, not pay their bills promptly. So obviously the first option is correct, that they are feeling guilty if they are overspending. So these are the parts of extended listening, that if you are listening to them, then you should understand that how these words are taken into consideration, and how we have to listen to them, how we are going to solve them into our exercises, and how it is then there for you. Let's see. Now I'm going to play. This is a sample exercise of extended listening, and now I'm going to play one small, recording of extended listening, and after that, we are going to see that what kind of questions are being asked. So I'm going to play the recording. So you will hear this conversation only for once because a little bit, right? So and then I will go for the script reading and everything, and then we will focus on the questions. So let's see. Here I begin.
Good afternoon, Mr. Peters.
Good afternoon.
I'm Melanie Short from our bank's business loan department. I understand you wanted to speak to somebody today about getting a loan for your company.
Yes, that's right.
You had a loan from us last year, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Excellent. Can you tell me something about your company? What is its name?
Pool Protect.
Okay. And what do you do?
We make swimming pool covers.
Oh, I didn't know such companies exist.
Well, it's very important to cover your swimming pool if you have one and are not using it. You can stop leaves going into it, but it makes your home and your garden a lot safer if you have young children.
Of course, it's very dangerous to have an open pool.
Yes, it is.
And how is your company doing, Mr. Peters? Are you financially strong?
Well, the company started 3 years ago. We have 24 people working for us, and we now have 2 offices. We want to open a 3rd office next year. This is one of the reasons that we want the loan from you.
What about profits? I have all the documents saved in my email, but you can tell me something. Just a summary, please.
We made a small loss in the first year because of manufacturing costs.
That's understandable.
Yes. In our second year, we made a small profit and we increased this profit by 40% last year.
40% is very good, Mr. Peters. Do you sell only in this country?
We have some international sales, and this is another reason we need extra capital.
Oh?
We need some money to go to international trade fairs, and also to pay for some newspaper and magazine advertising in some selected countries.
Which countries?
The United Kingdom, Ireland, Holland, and Germany. We are very ambitious about the future.
I'm very happy to hear it. You said you have a workforce of 24. Do you think you will take on more people if you increase your international business?
Absolutely. We need new people, international salespeople, interpreters, advertising and marketing people, and so on.
What are your profit forecasts for the current year, Mr. Peters?
We forecast profits about 30 to 40% above last year's.
OK, we can give you an answer for the loan in the next day or 2. We will call you, but I don't think there'll be any problems.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Alright, so dear students, I hope you must have listened to this recording, and now I'm going to proceed with the script. Right? So you must be, as you're solving the listening exercises, so you must be tuned, your ear should be tuned with the listening expressions, right? So here I'm going to take you. So this is a script which you have just heard, and this is now in a script form. So you can say, Peter is telling good afternoon, and Melanie Short is saying, I'm Melanie Short from our bank's business loan department. I understand you wanted to speak to somebody today about getting a loan for your company. Mr. Peter, yes, that's right. And then she tells, you had a loan from us last year, didn't you? Yes, we had. Excellent. Can you tell me something about your company? What is its name? Then Peter is telling, it's Pool Protect. Okay. And what do you do? We make swimming pool covers. Oh, I don't know. Such companies exist. Well, it's very important to cover your swimming pool if you have one and you are not using. You can stop leaves going into it, but it makes your home and garden a lot safer if you have young children. Of course, it's very dangerous to have an open pool. Good afternoon, Mr. Peters. And yes, it's short. And how its company, I'm just repeating, yes, just wait a second, yes. We made a small loss in the first year because of the manufacturing cost. That's understandable. In our second year, we made a small profit, and we increased this profit by 40% last year. 40% is very good, Mr. Peter. Do you sell only in this country? We have some international sales, and this is another reason we need extra capital. Oh, we need some money to go to the international trade fairs and also to pay for some newspaper and magazine advertising in some selected countries. Which countries? The United Kingdom, Ireland, Holland, Germany. We are very ambitious about the future. I'm very happy to hear it. You said you have a workforce of 24. Do you think you will take on more people if you increase your international basis? Absolutely. We need more people, international salespeople, interpreters, advertising and marketing people, and so on. What are your profits forecasts for the current year, Mr. Peter? We forecast profits about 30 to 40% last year. Okay, we can give you an answer for the loan in the next day or two. We will call you, but I don't think there will be any problems. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Goodbye. So, dear learners, you can see that this conversation was so meaningful. There was so much information, so much of business techniques were there, business wordings were there. And this is how we have to understand that any conversation is there. Then we have to understand the key points, how it is there. So, dear candidates, I'm very much sure that you have understood all these listening strategies which I have told you, and after listening to gradually you have listened to so many things, and after listening to all these things, all these conversations from simple, intermediate to advanced, you have developed a level of proficiency when it comes to your listening skills. I have wondered that many candidates are scoring high marks only because they have improved their listening skills. So I want to make sure that if you really want to be a good listener and you want to listen all the positive aspects of any document, any text which is there, then your ears should be tuned to listening. Listening is a meditation. It is a kind of process where you have to be an active listener. So I would advise all my candidates that when you are listening should be done with full concentration. And there are two kinds of listener. First is the active listener and the second one is the passive listener. Who is an active listener? Active listener is that who listens to all the words. Each and every word uttered by the speaker must be crystal clear to him. So that person is known as active speaker. And who is a passive speaker? Passive speaker is one who only listens to a part of a statement and he tries to solve the questions. He tries to find out the answer of a question on the basis of guess. So do you think it is possible? No. It won't be possible for us. So, dear students, now the time has come when we have to make sure that every moment, whenever we are listening to something, if you are listening any word, you make sure what kind of word it is. Can I collocate this word? Think about the possible collocation. Write it down. Write that word. Do some experiment with that word. But make sure you are focusing only the business English word. Right? Make sure if I have taken this word, can there be any possible synonyms for this word? Just work on it. Just see that if I have taken this word, what are the possible antonyms of this word? Just take one business expression and see in how many ways you can paraphrase it. If you are going to paraphrase any situation in 5 different words, automatically your command over the word will improve, and after that you are going to improve your synonyms, antonyms, and synonyms and antonyms are the best way to expand your vocabulary. At the same time, when you are listening, you also always focus on the root words. Yes, once you are aware about the root word, then you will be aware about you can guess the possible meaning which is coming from the conversation. So understand the root word, and after that you also try to focus on the prefix. What is a prefix? there are some words which are added before a word, so that is a prefix. And you also try to focus on suffix. Suffix, they are the words which are added at the end of the conversation, end of any word, right? So, and you keep on learning English. Listening skills is something, if you are focusing on this, then listening is something which is very much important. If I'm talking about if you are working on your business communication skill, I always recommend my candidates that they should explore some business sites. You can also search from some newspaper or like websites where the news is there related with your business thing, so you can focus that thing. After that, you can go for more and more listening, right? Listen to the business talk. If there is any kind of group discussion going on, then listen to them. Make sure you join a native speaker community where you are used to with more listening practices. And see, accent is something which is there. You have a neutral accent because International Phonetic Association has given us a list of 44 symbols, and we have to pronounce the words according to those symbols, right? But accent is something which varies from person to person. But all over India, all over the world, only IPA, that International Phonetic Association, who has given us a list of 44 symbols, the words has to go with that. So make sure you have this in your mind, that we have to get our ears used to with the native speakers, because they are using lots of standardized expressions, they are using lots of antonyms, and in your question format, it's so much. Sometimes the questions are replaced with antonyms, synonyms, they are being paraphrased, numbers are being asked. So there are so many things. Like if you really want to update this, if you really want to work on this, then it is very important that we have to keep on working. Focus on all the aspects of listening. As I told you from the beginning, that the time has come when we have to become an exceptional listener. And I also told you that you have to develop some of the skills which are very, very much important in today's scenario. You work on those skills, you work on your patience level skill, that is also a skill. You focus on concentration, you focus on your improvising your listening abilities, because I told you that listening is a kind of meditation. So dear candidates, I hope you must have enjoyed this journey of listening with me, and I hope you would have really, and we would go for one more extended listening in our next episode. So till then, thank you so much, dear candidates. Thank you so much. God bless us all. Thank you.